it's Budget with Mama Bear. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today, I am here with
her son.
This is Mondays with Mama, another episode. Like I told you in previous video, we are going to film when we can to kind of give you updated on my son's journey of budgeting and saving money. So we are going to be looking at the last 2 weeks, how he did. So let's go ahead and share with what you did in the last 2 weeks.
Well, let's get the paperwork.
All right. So explain to everybody what this is.
So this is my expenses sheet. As you can tell, I went and pretty much made it as organized as possible. I did date what I spent it on, where at, and how much money I spent. So it was very easy, actually. I usually did it after every day of work when I got home. And it only took about 5 minutes to do it. It was pretty quick and very easy to keep up with. So I don't know. I thought that was going to be something that I was going to have difficulty with because I'm so tired. But it actually turned out to be fairly easy.
Great. That's awesome. And I was actually really proud of you that you were doing that because of how tired I saw you were when you got home. So this was really a good thing. And we did realize that he needs 2 sheets. So for the next 2 weeks, I did print out 2. So why don't you share with everybody what we did when we sat down and we looked at your expenses?
So basically what we did is we color coordinated it based on what. So eating out was this light blue here. Gas was this like purple color. My personal use was the orange. And my entertainment and going out was yellow. And over here you can see on the extra sheet it was the same thing. And then down here, we kind of added them all up when we separated them. And we totaled them up. And in some places, we did pretty good. And some that we just getting started with. So, I mean, we're still figuring out the numbers on the budget.
Yeah, and what I told him was it's okay if you go over in certain areas, because as we'll show you, if you didn't see the last video that we did leave a pretty good sized buffer in his checking account because he's still working through his budget, and we only had 1 month of expenses that we were pulling from. So we have to really, sometimes when you're first starting out, you have to look at several months. And I actually think it should be like a 6 month where you can get your real numbers, kind of like real life budget of this is where we spend our money and this is where we probably need to be at. So that is the purpose of keeping that buffer in there. So when he did that, we also remembered that he wanted another sinking fund for car. So car expenses, little things like that he needs to spend for.
Yeah.
And he did stay within budget on that. So what did you say when you were, it was kind of neat to see it when you added up your eat out?
Oh, I actually stayed within the budget of eating out, which I actually thought I was going to go over on out of any of the ones that we had, actually, but it turned out to be the complete opposite.
Yeah, so we know that $200 is a good amount for you for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what we did is we did this sheet. And basically what we did was, this is where we started with his paycheck, what we budgeted for. This is what he spent. And this shows him the balance. So he can see that in 3 areas, he did go over, but in 1, 2, 3, 4 areas, he was under. And so those are good numbers to kind of keep track of. And then we'll do the next 2 weeks down here when we get those numbers. So he can kind of keep, when we look at the month end, we'll be able to see, was this a good amount to budget or wasn't? And we need to change the numbers maybe. Okay, so then, here, we'll move these out of the way now that we've used them. What do we do here?
Well, so basically we got a new budget sheet.
I'm going to zoom in just a tad so everybody can kind of see.
We got a new budget sheet out here. So we adjusted some of the
This is the old budget sheet.
this is the old
Yeah.
one. Oh. So for the most part, we looked at how much I had to use in my buffer to start. Let's look at that. I had to use $43.37 of my buffer, which left me over with $169.63. And with that, I mean, that's pretty all right. I mean, it's just my first time doing this, so I mean, I think keeping that buffer was a good idea. On top of that, I mean, I did pretty good over here with the total left over, I think, personally. Being my first time doing it, I think I didn't go off the walls. I didn't, spend an absurd amount of money to where it was like, oh, we have issues. But really, I think I did pretty well on it. As you can see here, the totals were a little different on what we determined it to be. But I mean, if you really look at it, I only went over 50 something bucks, maybe around $50. And then left over, I was pretty close here. I was almost there, but obviously I think this next week we'll hit all the numbers right on the money. But
again, you're looking at what you budgeted and what you actually spent.
Yeah.
And you're still able to, and when we look at the next 2 weeks' budgets, one of the things he wants to do is put an extra loan payment on his student loan every month. So, because that's going into effect starting in November. So we're still able to budget that amount and bump up his numbers just a little bit. You were able to put in your $500 for your savings. And so we're going to carry over this $169.63. And let's go ahead and show them the new budget that you made with your new paycheck. All right, let's make sure that's in frame there. All right, so let's go ahead and explain this.
Well, so we're looking at, I have a different amount for the whole month. Well, not the whole month, the next 2 weeks. I made a little bit more money. So on top of that, we kind of also went over here and adjusted some things that we think are going to be better in hitting these numbers more on. So the biggest one that I went over a little, not too much, but it was gas. So we bumped it up $25, and I think that's going to be just enough, hopefully, I think. Eating out, staying the same because I did pretty well on that. Beverages, that's going to stay the same as well. Clothes, I think that's just enough. Entertainment, we bumped up as well, another $25. Just to be prepared and kind of plan ahead to see on what's going to happen. And because for me, I don't know what I'm going to do on my weekend usually. I usually either have to work on a Saturday or I don't. And either I want to go out and do something or I sometimes just want to sit inside and be lazy. And then my personal, that stayed the same.
Yeah, you wanted it to stay the same.
Okay, so yeah, we kept that the same as well. And then the car as well, car staying the same because, I don't know, I think that's enough for me.
So what we did differently is we took the total amount because we wanted to see, could we still keep that extra loan payment? And then, because he wanted to bump these up a little bit. So we went this way this week, and his leftover was $1,435, even with bumping it up just a little bit here. We did take the 25 for the budget, so that gave us $910, sorry. And then from there, we took out the $500, okay, for that he wants to do. And now that he's done that $500 transfer, tell him what your savings has in it now.
$1,000.
So he has his emergency fund fully funded. So that is a huge thing that some people, it takes them a little while. So then we went back up. He did his rent and his extra loan payment, and he's left over with $373. Now, because this is really month one of doing his budget, over here we put it and we added it to his buffer. Mm-hmm. And now his buffer is at $542.63. And some of you might be going, whoa, that's a lot of extra to keep in your checking account. But when you're first starting, you would never want to go in the negatives or have to already pull from that emergency fund that he's already created. So at the end of the month, if he still has even near this, we're going to decide where we want that money to go. How much do we want to roll over to the next buffer? Or do we want to pop that into his savings? You know, he's going to decide that at the end of the month based on what he has, because we need to make sure that this is going to be okay these next 2 weeks. And by keeping that in there, he's covered.
Well, and something I want to add to that is like having this amount of money as a buffer. I personally, as being new to this, I personally feel like I don't feel so pressured on having to be so like strict with my money, honestly. Like I feel like if I do go a little bit over, I know I have some backup sitting there for me. And I think it's good because it's also like gives me something that, you know, I feel like I can work for. It's like, hey, like I have this amount of money sitting here now. Like if I stay within these, you know, amount of money that's budgeted per thing, I can do whatever I want with this extra money that I have left over.
Well, and one big thing that's coming up is Christmas. And in years past, I remember you just going out and just spending and taking your account to zero, you know, and going, well, I've got to wait a couple weeks to get my money. This way, you've got money saved where if you want to budget some money for your Christmas shopping, you have it sitting there and you know that, yeah, maybe I don't want to blow it and spend on these really expensive gifts, but I can have a budget for each person that I want to buy for, and that money is ready for me to spend. It's already saved up. I don't have to use even my paycheck for it. Yeah. I've already got it saved.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a big thing that we're heading towards coming up that you can look forward to. Hey, it's going to be fun to go Christmas shopping this time.
Yeah.
You know? So what do you look forward to in the next 2 weeks?
Well, obviously the next paycheck. I think the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is, I mean, I really want to hit every goal of mine in the budget. Like that's something I really want to achieve for myself because I feel like it's very attainable and I think I can do it. And that's something I just set in the bar for me. Like that's the expectation I have for myself is meeting these standards. And I don't know, just, I think continuing the journey overall. I mean, it's just like, I'm already seeing an absolute way of saving money that's helping me. And I personally I don't know, I just want to keep seeing how it's going to play out for me weeks on in the future. And so, yeah.
Yeah, what I'm excited for you is that you can see that you can pay your bills, you can live your life still. Because, you know, you're in your early 20s. You still have fun to have, you know, and you should be. Yeah. But you can do that, pay your bills, and the important thing, save money. And you can do all of it as long as you plan out where your money's going when you get paid. And you'll see that if you do that, you're not hindering yourself. You're just managing it.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Yeah, I actually have fun doing it. So I'm hoping that you see the fun in it.
Yeah.
And it makes going to work and working all those hours when you know your money's going to certain things and that you're ending up in the positive every month. It makes going to work that much easier.
Absolutely. And like, I mean, something I see all the time is that people my age, like they don't say they live paycheck to paycheck, but in reality they do. Because they have no idea what they are spending their money on and they never track any of their money. And you know, it's crazy because it's like a lot of people will say, oh no, I don't live paycheck to paycheck, but in reality, you really do.
Yeah, exactly. So this next 2 weeks, you're going to keep continuing to track your expenses. I went ahead and printed him 2 sheets. So if he needs those, he'll have those again. And then when we do a month end, we will definitely film that and we'll kind of go through what it looks like at the end of the month when you look back at how your finances went. All right, so does that sound pretty good?
Sounds good.
You ready to go for this?
Yep.
All right, y'all. If you have any other questions or anything for the son here, go ahead and put that down in the comments. Let us know where you're at with your budgeting. I know I saw last time that some of you were wanting to show your kids or your grandkids the video of my son and his journey. I hope that helps. Again, if there's something you're needing or if you're having questions on, put that in the comments. We're happy to answer those the best we can or share those experiences, what he's doing and how he's feeling about it. Absolutely. All right, y'all. As I hope you have a blessed day. And as always, we double love you.